Pre-recorded from Joe's mom's basement, welcome to a Wednesday Rewind episode of the Stacking Benjamin Show. Hey everyone, I'm Griffin the Intern, or as the academic advisors at school like to call me, the Fintern. Part of me wishes this were a video podcast so that you could see what a mess this place is after 8 weeks of shows. As I was walking in, Joe handed me a mop and an old Betamax tape. Betamax? I don't even know what that is, but it turns out there's a player right here, under a stack of Joe's mom's quilting magazines, and the tape includes an episode called Check Your Financial Diagnostic with Gene Chatzky. Joe talked to Gene about why people should get a financial checkup. It was a good idea back when we talked to Gene in 2017, and I think it's a good idea now. And of course, this is a fully loaded Stacking Benjamins episode, so you can expect a Haven Lifeline call, Doug's Trivia, and headlines. But remember, this episode originally came out in April 2017, so don't enter any mentioned giveaways or take investment advice from this episode. You have fun listening to this. I'm gonna go see what's growling over there in the corner. Fintern out.
Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff.
You're listening to The Stacking Benjamin Show. Hey there, sports fans. I'm Joe's mom's neighbor, Doug, and welcome to the first day of the Stanley Cup playoffs. And to help you afford that next trip to your arena for a hockey game, we have a fantastic show chock full of money-saving advice. I'm just kidding. We got more of the same old worthless stuff as usual. On today's show, from the Her Money podcast, please welcome today's show money editor, Gene Chatzky. Of course, we'll also throw in headlines ripped from the pages of the nation's finest news sources, serve up some ice-cold trivia, answer your letters, and respond to Kyle's Haven Lifeline question about funding a Roth IRA. And now, two guys who Mom just let out of the penalty box, Joe and G.
You started it.
I started it.
I was
at a hockey game a couple weeks ago, and they got the camera in the penalty box.
Yes.
The guy that went in the penalty box put his stick right on top of the camera, and the whole stadium, boo!
That is perfect.
So yeah,
I love it. I love going to see hockey games live. Watch them on
hockey
TV.
in person is 1,000 times better than on the television, but still not my favorite. But this was a good stadium that I was at, so it was fun.
Really enjoyed it. I try to go to one game a year. Hey everybody, I'm Joe Saul-Sehy, Average Joe Money on Twitter, and across this card table from me in my mom's basement is the man who's ready to do it again for another hour, Mr. OG.
I was trying to figure out how you're going to play some hockey reference there. Here's OG who always shoots it from the blue line. I don't know. That doesn't make any sense.
And misses. He tries hard. Oh, hey, guess what?
I'm not really good at segues. You are.
Gene Chatzky
That's
is here
nice.
today. Today's show money editor, Gene. We love Gene. Gene is amazing. The property values always go up when Gene's here, so we're very excited that Gene's coming down to the basement. But you know what else we're excited about? We're excited that people have been going to stackingbenjamins.com/magnify money. Because when you head to Magnify Money, you know what happens? You have lower bills on your credit cards and on your debt strategy. You know why? Because you're paying less in interest. With a credit card, you should be paying them off in full. But that's a whole different story, because at Magnify Money, if you are paying them off in full, guess what you can do? You can shop for the cards that have the highest rewards, which is fun. In fact, Nick over at Magnify Money says you're leaving money on the table if you have less than 2% on your reward card. stackingbenjamins.com/magnify money. Also, savings accounts, checking accounts, car loans, going into mortgages, and one of the best financial blogs you'll ever find with Mandy Woodruff over there, formerly of Yahoo Finance, who's taken over that blog and whipped it into shape, OG. She's whipped it into shape. So average person saves $450 when they visit Magnify Money. And the place Magnify Money calls numero uno, that's number one, by the way.
For those of us who don't speak a Spanish.
when it comes to student loan refinancing and personal loans, head to stackybenjamins.com/SoFi. That's spelled SOFI. They'll throw in $100 if you refinance your student loans or take out a personal loan using our link, stackybenjamins.com/SoFi. You'll find they've got tons of options to work with you, like flexible loan terms, extremely competitive interest rates, and better yet, they work with members, not just customers and people who do business with SoFi. No, they're a different kind of company. They'll help you find a new job, invite you to networking events, roll out a range of services you're not going to find at that local bad bank of yours. So whether you're hoping to buy a house, refinance your existing one, consolidate the student loans, or get your personal debt under control, stackybenjamins.com/SoFi. Gene Chatzky coming down to the basement. The Haven Lifeline. We're going to take a letter, but first we have some amazing headlines, so let's get this party started.
Hello, darlings. And now it's time for your favorite part of the show, our Stacking Benjamins headlines.
First headline today comes to us from Investment News. Field's getting crowded. Field's getting more crowded. Listen to this. Wells Fargo Advisors Intuitive Investor Robo-Advisor technology.
Yeah, I saw this.
They file their ADV registration, which means it's coming. Wells Fargo's going to have theirs. The service, which will be launched as a pilot program for customers in June, is going to require a minimum investment of $10,000, and it'll charge 50 basis points. And for those of you
good luck competing.
For those of you that don't speak inner circle finance, I remember first time somebody talked to me about basis points. I'm like, what the heck are you talking about? 50 basis points, 0.5%.
0.5%, correct.
0.5%. That, my friend, is high.
For this type of service, two high things. $10,000 minimum. I think Wealthfront starts you off with, what, $500 these days? $500. And 50 basis points, 0.5% fee. Yeah, that's not going to get any traction. That sounds like a program that they're launching for the news headline, but not actually trying to make money on.
Yeah, just kind of saying they have it because they do.
Yeah. Oh, no, we do robos.
We have that here. The service known as Intuitive Investor will target younger clients who don't have an investment relationship with Wells Fargo Advisors. Younger clients
who also must not know how to use Google and can't type robo-advisor into a search browser and find that they're all the same, cut from the same cloth. To just, if you're trying to find the cheapest thing, this is a commodity. Robo-advising is a commodity, is it not? So why would you,
It's so funny.
Do they make any case for it further in the article? This is awesome because of, this is why it costs 3 times as more than...
Management in the portfolios will be done by SigFig. That's pretty good. An independent San Francisco-based wealth management technology company whose algorithms will rebalance the portfolios and harvest tax losses when appropriate, Wells Fargo said.
So basically like every other one.
Like every other
and
one.
Every other advisor in the world so far.
Yeah. ETFs offered in the Robos portfolios will be a mix of passive broad-based index and smart beta strategies
smart beta.
Selected by the Wells Fargo Investment Institute, which also designed the asset allocation models. I wonder if some of those are going to be Wells Fargo
A little
products.
home cooking? You think a little home cooking going on?
I would put it past them. I mean, already, like you said, people who don't know how to use Google or Bing or whatever. Like, we're not looking for we're looking for the S word. Suckers.
Here, what's also great is that according to the new CEO, everyone in America already has an account.
Perfect.
Everybody's made their quarterly bonuses.
Everybody. Yeah. Is it too soon for that? Too soon?
Thank you, Mr. OG, for investing in our new intuitive investor platform. Like, I've never done that. Well, you have now.
Congratulations. For what? Oh, you're our top
Why
person.
is my checking account overdrawn? I thought I had like $7,000 in the account. Well, you did, but we updated your account to include our intuitive investor program,
which you're gonna love. It's gonna be fantastic.
Could I give you some of this delicious smart beta? It's such a buzzword.
Our second headline.
So I guess you know where we fall on that story.
Yeah, maybe we've probably beaten that horse a little bit lately. Second headline comes to us from the Huffington Post. Actually, comes to us from my evil archenemy, Meg. Meg knows who she is. Meg is
your nemesis.
She is my nemesis. You know why? I did this thing on Twitter. I said, if somebody had you $1 million right now, what would you do? Just to see, and it blew up. And a bunch of people had hilarious things. I would say half the people turned it political, number one, which I didn't respond to those. Other people had heartwarming stuff, pay off the student loans, give it to charity. Like, that was nice. Meg said, because it's probably $20 bills, I would have to count it out. And I'd spend all day at the bank with the bank rep counting it out. And I just retweeted it and said, this is the person I always get stuck behind at the bank. And then Meg said, oh, it's Joe? If it's Joe, I also want to know everything about every different checking account product they have. And I probably should take a tour of the facility. And I don't know. She said like 3 or 4 things. So Meg is my evil arch nemesis now. So this piece she sent me, though, via Twitter. It's from the Huffington Post, and it's by Shakir Hassan, who's a contributor to Huffington Post. But not only that, he also, OG, is an entrepreneur, a blogger, and an internet marketer. And I don't know Mr. Hassan. I don't know him at all. However, the headline of this article, How to Build Passive Income Just by Selling an Annuity. It's that easy. You just sell an annuity and you build some passive income.
Well, I think the real thing is you need to sell about, what do you think is reasonable income? You need to sell like what, about 100 of them? If you can get a solid 10 million in sales, I mean, that's a pretty good income. I mean, you might make about 600,000-700,000 that year.
That's a good start, but you can't.
I remember when, I don't know where the story's going here, but I remember when I was an advisor at my old company, before my company, before the company, before the company, like the first company, my wife and I were considering moving. It took us a long time to actually move, but this was long before we had kids and everything. And I was talking to another advisor down in Florida, where I was trying to think about moving to. And he was trying to leave the business, sell his business. And he had $50 million in assets under management, which is no small sum. That's
nice practice.
It's just a lot of money. 100% in annuities.
100%.
And I said, well, that's an interesting business model. And he said, well, yeah, every year for the last 10 years, I acquired $5 million of new money in annuities. At a 6% commission, I made $300,000 every year. Plus, there's a little trail, a little back end commission on each one of those things as the years go on. He said, by the end of year 10, the surrender charges on year 1's annuities went away. So I could resell them the new thing and get another 300,000. He said, so it only took me 10 years of 5 million each year. And now I make $300,000+ every year. And I don't, it's an easy business. I'm like, well, there you go.
This author here has got it. Listen, he says, how much money do you make each year? It's a commonly asked question. Many people depend on the regular
12,000.
Many people depend on their regular salary and investment to generate the monthly income. But a good way to increase your income is by passive income. I don't know if you know.
Obviously, yes, passive. Yes. That means you don't have to do any work for it.
I prefer passive to active. If I can sit on my butt more and have the $100
I like
bills
having
rolling.
passive dinners.
Passive income is the income which doesn't require your time, energy, or skills. It can be an investment which you've done and not worked for. Any sales which offer you trail commission, or any book which provides you royalty or some other sales. How can passive income be generated? He says there's multiple ways. Renting properties to other people. You can sell your creative work, such as books, videos, and pictures. That's easy too. Blogging can do the same for you. You and I tried that. We made a ton.
We made a lot of passive income doing that. At least $1.
Sales
between
income
us
can be a good way to generate passive income. This can be made by selling any insurance policy, financial products, credit cards, or contract services. You don't need, who needs expertise to do that? You just find a person. You can do advertisements. As long as the ad's posted on your vehicle, you can slap an ad on your vehicle and get some income. And he says, or by selling an annuity. Let's take a look at the passive income generated by selling an annuity. He says there's lots of financial products which can be sold, and the annuity is one of them. The person who sells the annuity not only receives commission to selling it, but also gets a trailer. An annuity is a simple financial...
Not a trailer like a vehicle.
Meaning,
it's not like an extra...
Meaning an ongoing commission later.
Yeah, you get a back-end commission. It keeps on coming. It's a gift that keeps on giving to the advisor.
So far, it's a little bit rubbishy, but okay, I get it. This is where the train goes off the tracks.
Okay.
An annuity is a simple financial product.
Simple. Okay. That's why the contracts are about 150 pages long?
Pages long, full of, for those who have an amount of money to invest and they don't want to work against it, the annuity can be bought and the amount of money is spent in the investment company and you get a consistent payout from the investments you made. That's how easy. You put the money in it and you get a consistent payout. For example, somebody invests an amount of $700,000 in an annuity.
Oh, okay. Nice round number.
Yeah, do that math. Let's say 700,000 has a return of 6% annual. I love those.
Mhm.
They can get their returns in monthly, quarterly, or yearly basis. They don't need to do anything except to get that fixed amount in exchange each and every month. Many retired people invest in these annuities to get the amount of money they need on a monthly basis. 6% annual return on a $700,000 annuity. By the way,
you show me a nice 6% fixed annuity and I will buy it myself.
Here's the thing. It can be done. It can be done in year one. Because what'll happen is an annuity company will lure you. You and I both seen this, dude. They'll lure you in. They'll say, guess what? It's 7%. Oh, that's amazing. An annuity person doesn't even tell them that at the end of year one, that rate of return goes away and now it's based on the market, right? And once they have you with a 10-year surrender period where you can't get the hell out of it, and they decide to put you against, whatever the market basis is that they've created, next thing you know, you're at 1.2.
Yeah.
And you're stuck there for the other 9 years.
9+.
Yes.
Yeah. If it's only 10, I've seen them that have 15-year surrender schedules, 20-year even. There's 20-year surrender schedule annuities. Can you imagine that? 20 years?
Well, you and I have seen Lifetime. We know a certain company in Cincinnati that used to have a Lifetime one. Remember that?
I don't, but that sounds awesome.
Where no matter
for them,
no matter when it was, you were going to take it to get out. It was going to hurt. What does a person get in return for selling an annuity? There's lots of reasons to sell annuity. It could be quite helpful and easy for the people to get a return of selling the equity. I don't even know what that means.
Yeah, that just sounds like like a whole bunch of mashed up words put together.
This is quality Huffington Post material. Number one, the broker. If you're the broker, then there are lots of benefits, which you can get after selling annuity, such you'll get the commission for selling it. Another major benefit, you'll get a trailer commission that's paid over time. Number two, the owner of the annuity. Since the annuity, listen to this scheme at the end. The annuity can be sold, OG, by the annuity owner, and it ensures that if you sell it back and receive the cash back you have invested, therefore, in case you need money, you can sell this annuity. So in other words, you can sell your annuity, but the other thing that he talks about, if you become the broker, you can get the commission for selling it to yourself.
Zing. Double whammy.
High five, baby.
It's, what do they say? Like a fool has himself, or a person that has himself as an attorney is a fool for an attorney and a client. Right?
We spent way too much time on that. But anyway, thanks to my evil arch nemesis, Meg, for sending me that piece of dog do. Lesson number one, an annuity is not a simple to understand product. And if you don't know anything about finance and you're out there selling annuities, you're screwing over everybody you know and the people that you're selling it to. I guarantee it. And then number two, second lesson you should learn today is robo-advisors. There's a new one. There's a new one. That's our lesson for the day.
And everybody already has it.
First day of hockey playoffs, OG. Worried about breaking a hip as you're checking people into the boards?
Yeah, I don't. I've never been on ice skates in my life.
Gene Chatzky has a book, brand new book about breaking a hip or not breaking a hip. It's called Living Longer Without Running Out of Money or Breaking a Hip. Co-written with Dr. Michael Roizen, by the way. Gene, if you don't know who Gene is, she's written many, many best-selling books, including Make Money, Not Excuses, Pay It Down from Debt to Wealth on $10 a Day, Not Your Parents' Money Book, Making, Saving, and Spending Your Own Money, and of course, Money Rule. The first time Gene came on the show she was talking about Money Rules, which was written back in 2012. Gene has an amazing story that started at Forbes. She helped start up this little magazine called Smart Money in 1992, rising from a staff writer to a senior editor. And after 5 years there, she joined this other little publication, OG, called Money Magazine. Of course, she's appeared a ton on Oprah, Live with Regis and Kelly, The View, written for Parents, 17, Cosmopolitan. Is there anybody who doesn't know who Gene Chatzky is? She, of course, is the financial editor for NBC's Today Show. But right now, she's coming down to the basement to hang out with us. So excited, Gene Chatzky, coming down to talk about living longer without running out of money or breaking a hip. coming down to the basement. Gene Chatzky joins us. Welcome back. Have a seat. How are you?
I am great. I'm terrific. How are you?
Well, I'm better now that you're here because you're going to help me age-proof my life, huh?
I am. I don't pretend to even play a doctor on TV, but I wrote this book with a fantastic doctor, Michael Roizen of the Cleveland Clinic, who specializes in aging and wellness. So we've got a lot of strategies so you don't run out of money or break a hip.
I want to ask you about that in a second, but I have far more pressing stuff to ask you first. So I need a behind-the-scenes scoop, Gene. I watched you a couple weeks ago on the Today Show talking with Matt Lauer, and you were doing tax tips, and as always, of course, you were fantastic. But you've got this head, and I know this only because I did this on a local level in Detroit, where there's, a fraction of the people watching that are watching the Today Show. So I know you've got this head full of very specific numbers, and you can't say anything wrong. And I also know that you're thinking ahead, trying to seem interesting because it's taxes, right? And you've got this screen you're trying to operate. And I'm sitting there from a guy I did 9 years of TV. I'm like, that's got to be the hardest thing ever to try to get that screen to go while I'm trying to remember the earned income credit at the same time.
Was that the day that my graphics didn't work?
The very last one didn't go. I think you pressed it and it didn't go right away. So you pressed it again and it flipped twice.
Yeah, actually, so that's Al's weather monitor. And we've got fantastic graphics people who spend so much time making beautiful graphics that I get to play with. Right. I'm very honored, actually, because they don't let just anybody play with that monitor. Like, you have to actually be able to keep the stuff in your head and press the buttons and do it at the same time. It's a little Vanna White-ish, right? Pressing all the buttons at the same time that you're talking. And I practice with it before I do it because I need to know because if you press that screen on a place where it's not supposed to be pressed, it can go back to the first screen and then you're in big trouble. You
did a great job, though, of covering it up at the end. Like, okay, well, we're just going to keep moving on. It was perfect. Yeah. That was.
You got to keep talking. So I've been on the Today Show now for 22 years. I will never forget, I was doing a segment one morning with Bryant Gumbel, and he got a Charlie horse, like a bad one. And he said, he got a Charlie horse during the break, and he said to me, if I get up in the middle of our segment, because I'm in a lot of pain, you just keep talking. And I will never forget that. I mean, there have been a number of things that have gone wrong over the years. I had a segment a few months ago where the heel of my shoe got caught in the set and I couldn't move around. So I literally just took the shoe off and kept talking. And Savannah Guthrie, bless her, took her shoe off because she was feeling the sisterhood. Things happen. Graphics don't always work. You do your best and you keep going.
I want to go back to Brian Gumbel just for a second. So he asks a question, then what does he do? Grab his leg?
No. So during the break, he got this Charlie horse and I got into the chair during the break because I was the next segment. And he was in so much pain, he didn't know if he would be able to make it through.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. Is he like, you're answering the question, they have the camera shot.
He's faking it. He's like, he's got his poker face on and he's just going through it. But he did think he might have to actually get up.
I had a local guy in Detroit one time who would ask me a question and he was so disinterested. When he knew that the camera was on me, he would pick his teeth.
Oh, God, that's disgusting.
I know, and I'm trying to talk specifically, and I want to look right at him and seem that I'm engaged and interested, and it's so hard for me to keep up with my segment knowing the guy's it was horrible. I'm like, thanks, pal. Thanks for just throwing me under the bus, but we made it through.
I think people who have never been on the set of a live TV show don't kind of understand how many different moving parts there are. I mean, the cameras themselves, they're like a ballet because they have to crisscross to get from one production area to another. It's incredibly intricate. The set's on a turntable, so it may be turning at the same time. You don't want to be in a shot that you're not supposed to be in. It's really amazing that it goes off every day so well.
I was amazed that you pulled it through there because I could have never worked that screen. I could have never, ever done it. But people are wondering when we're going to actually talk money. And what I thought we'd do today, if you don't mind, is just talk a little bit about the first couple chapters of the book, which is your financial checkup. Because I think if we get people through that today in the next 10 minutes, then they can pick up the book and they can work it from there. But this whole idea of age proofing, let's start there, Jean. What does that actually mean, age proofing?
It means getting both your health and your finances moving in the right direction. We're all living so much longer than we ever thought we were going to live. If you don't have both of these things working in your favor, the last 20, 30, 40 years are not going to be as pleasant as they could be. And that's because if you have money, but you've got bad health, you're very quickly going to spend through your money trying to take care of your health. And if you've got health, but you don't have a lot of financial resources, it's really hard to stay healthy.
Boy, and in the book, you go through some amazing statistics. You say in the past 3 decades, men have gone from living to age 70. I mean, I remember my grandfather maybe died at 61, 70 to 79, women 77 to 83. And you say that Time Magazine speculates that the first person to live to 160 is probably already born. Holy cow. I'm sure that's me, by the way. I'm sure that's me.
Yeah, I hope it's you. I hope it's not me.
I was going to say, I hope it's not me. I don't want to be that person. But we're not prepared at all financially. Let's just talk financially because that's what you and I do. Longevity-wise, we're not prepared for that at all.
We're not. We're not prepared for a retirement that lasts 30 years, let alone 40 or 50 years. That's because we're not saving enough on a regular basis. We're not focused on growing our assets to take care of ourselves, because this whole idea that we're the ones who have to take care of ourselves in both health and in terms of retirement, it's still a relatively new concept, right? 401ks have only been around for about a quarter of a century. Before that, everybody had pensions. Everybody had a lot more confidence in Social Security and Medicare than they do these days. And so the bottom line is you've got to do this for yourself. It's on you. That's why we start with an assessment. We start by looking both financially and health-wise at where you are right now so you can figure out where you particularly have to improve your own personal economy.
I want to ask you just a couple questions from the health segment, which isn't your area, because there's 2 tools that the two of you mentioned. The first one is the Real Age Score.
Yeah. So Dr. Roizen, my co-author, is known for the Real Age test. Essentially, it's a series of questions you answer. You can find it online. It's free. You answer these questions and it tells you how old you are based on your body and your numbers. And hopefully you're a lot younger than you are at your actual physical age.
And why does he want us to start with that?
Because it's a good metric of what you need to do to improve. It'll point out whether your problems are in weight or in blood pressure or in toxins or many different other things along the way.
And then the other thing is this ShareCare app. That looked really cool.
So the ShareCare app is really cool. Again, it's free, sharecare.com. And you can download this app, and we're incorporating financial wellness into it as we speak. So it'll help you figure out whether you're on the right track. The neatest thing that this app does is measure your stress based on your voice. It uses voice recognition to assess the quality of your voice and tell you whether you're stressed out or not. And the more time that you spend in this stressed out state, the worse it is for your health and your finances.
It's so amazing. I mean, stuff like that just blows me away. I'm sure I would get on the ShareCare app and I'd be like Spinal Tap, Gene, where it's, 1 to 10 and my stress goes up to 11.
Oh,
I don't know.
But it's an issue because stress is the biggest ager. It affects our brain, it affects our body, it affects our overall health. And the biggest cause of stress is finances.
Well, that's why I like some of the rules that you lay down, which are, number one, even though fear can be a great short-term motivator, you can't live in a world of fear your entire life. And I guess that has a lot to do with the stress piece.
Yeah, it does. And here's the deal with financial stress and health stresses. There are a lot of stresses that we can deep breathe away. We can deep breathe it away when we're in a traffic jam and the guy in front of us is not moving and we're going to lay on the horn and we are stressed. But if we get ourselves to take a couple of deep breaths, we can make that go away. You cannot deep breathe away your credit card debt.
Right.
You can't deep breathe away the fact that you haven't saved for retirement. You've got to actually do something, get yourself on a plan to deal with those stresses. And what's interesting is you don't have to completely solve the problem in order to see a reduction in your stress. You do have to make some progress.
Just having a plan, I think,
Yeah.
is so that you can sleep at night, which was number 2 on that list that I liked. Also, fear was number 1. Number 2 was stop comparing yourself to other people. Other people are irrelevant.
They are. They are totally irrelevant when it comes to both your happiness and your financial and physical health. You got to compare yourself to you. And we are a society that is wired to compare, right? Social media doesn't help us. The Kardashians certainly don't help us. We're wired to measure up to other people. Just stop. Try to compare in a way that makes you feel a little bit better about you.
I had the Kardashians on TV last week. I have no idea why. And Cheryl, my spouse, walks by and she's like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah. Why would you watch this?
I have no idea.
That is 45 minutes of your life that you cannot get back.
But my stress went down because I was getting a little worried about Chloe. No, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and now you feel better.
I feel fantastic about my life, right? Okay, let's talk about the financial stuff that you need to test yourself on to start and to analyze. You start off with your income. And that's an area, by the way, where people are always comparing themselves to everybody else. But we start with gross income. And where do we go from there?
So I like to start with what do you earn, what do you own, and what do you owe? 3 points in the sand, right? This is basically a snapshot. What do I earn? What do I own? What do I owe? My income, my assets, my liabilities. And what you want to see as you look at those is that the trajectory is headed in the right direction. So your earnings over the years should be headed up. There may be times, I took a pay cut at several times in my career to enable me to get on the track that I wanted to get on. That's okay as long as you've got a plan for doing it. But your assets, your retirement savings, your college savings, your emergency savings, they should all be heading up pretty steadily. And as you close in on retirement, your debt, particularly your mortgage debt, should be heading down.
So I'm not just looking at the amount of money I'm bringing in. I'm looking at the difference between what I'm bringing in and what's going out and how it's going out.
Yeah, exactly. And if you have a gap there where you can steadily put aside 15% of what you're bringing in. That's the big linchpin to this whole equation. It's saving, and it's saving habitually. It's saving consistently. Of course, we want you to put those savings to work. But before you can even do that, you have to make sure that you're doing it. And a lot of people are not.
Are there red flags in the debt area when I'm examining that I should really be on the alert for?
A number of them. If your credit card debt is getting bigger every single month, if you are moving debt from card to card to card in an attempt to consistently transfer balances that you're having trouble getting rid of, if your credit score is low. Now, your credit score is not the most important number in this equation, but it is a measurement of how responsible you are. So, all of those things, and not being able to sleep at night. If your it's a little like alcohol. If you think that you're drinking too much, you're probably drinking too much. If you think that you've got too much credit card debt, you probably got too much credit card debt.
When you take a look at the different numbers that are important, you said credit score is not the most important. Which one of those numbers is the most important? Is it net worth statement? Is it your balance sheet? What do you think is number one?
I would say your savings rate is probably number one, but there are others that are important as well. I like the metrics that chart your course along the way to retirement, that by age 30, you should have about 1 times your income put away for retirement, by 43 times, by 56 times, by 68 times, and by the time you retire, 10 times your current income, whatever it is then. And if you have a traditional pension, you can reduce those numbers by a little bit. I also think the amount of debt you're carrying, your debt ratios as compared to your income, are important numbers to look at. So, for example, you should not have any more than 36% of your income represented by payments on your debts at any point in time.
It's funny, when I was a financial planner, people wouldn't want to go through this part, right? And I wanted to talk to you about it today specifically, Gene, because like I don't know if you say or Dr. Roizen says in the book, diagnostics work. Like getting these numbers in front of you really, really works, and it makes the fun parts way more fun.
Well, because it's motivating, right? We talk a lot in the book about the fact that there are two different types of motivation. There's intrinsic motivation and there's extrinsic motivation. The extrinsic motivation is motivation from outside sources. So you want to get into a particular outfit because you're going to your high school reunion and you want to look the same as you looked when you got out of high school. That's extrinsic motivation. That's an outside force at work. But you start to see those pounds coming off the scale and you start to feel good about that. And that motivates you to keep going. That's intrinsic. And that's a lot longer lasting. So with your money, the fact that you can start saving a little bit more, you go and you visit those savings accounts, you see that the money is adding up and up and up. That inspires you to think, hey, I'm actually pretty good with my money. I can do more. I can save more. I can meet my financial goals.
That's so awesome. The book is age proof, and we did maybe 1/4 of the first 2 chapters. Tell us where the book goes from there once we've got our diagnostic done.
Yeah, so we found 8 different areas where the same strategies work to improve both your health and your financial situation. So assessing is just one of those strategies, but we've got 7 more, and they're helping a lot of people.
Yeah, that's cool. And it's also got to be cool because I was here, in the big town of Texarkana. We have one bookstore, and I'm at the bookstore last week, and I see the book there. It's got to be, this is, nowhere near your first book, Gene, but it's still got to be cool when you go to the bookstore and you see it sitting there. It's got to be neat.
It's really cool. And this one is a New York Times, Wall Street Journal bestseller. So we're so excited about that.
Well, that's the second most important thing. The most important, of course, is that you got to talk about it on the Stacking Benjamin show, right?
That is.
Yes.
And I'm going to make sure they print new covers and say, as seen on Stacking Benjamin.
That's exactly it. Thanks for hanging out for a little bit.
Thank you.
Hey, trivia fans, I'm Joe's mom's neighbor, Doug, and as I mentioned earlier, it's a big day in the basement because it's day 1 of the NHL hockey playoffs. Mom's making that crazy cream cheese pizza dip. Joe's talking about checking people into the boards. OG's already on his 3rd Labatt's, and the show's only half over. So, to do my part, I thought you deserved some good old-fashioned hockey trivia. Here's the question. Which player's jersey sold most quickly during the 2015-16 season? I'll be back with the answer and maybe another cold one for OG in just a moment.
Hey, Stackers, know what I love? I love saving money on things that aren't important. I'm not one of these people that wants to live in a cabin in the woods. Don't get me wrong, that's your goal, that's fine, but that's not something that I'm looking for. I'm looking to spend money on experiences that are fun and not spend money on stuff that I don't care about. You know one thing I don't care about? I'm not attached to my bank. So why do people stick with the same bank forever when banking has completely changed? Head to stackingbenjamins.com/magnify money and you'll find out how much. You'll find out how badly your checking accounts performed. You'll find out how horrible that savings account you have is. You'll also find out that the debt products you're using are a big fat waste of time. So if you're going to consolidate your loans, why not do it the best way possible? If you're going to bank with anybody, why not make them the best possible? stackingbenjamins.com/magnify money. And if you're looking at those student loans and you're thinking, you know what, the interest rate is way too high on those, we've got a resource for you, stackingbenjamins.com/SoFi. That's spelled SOFI. SoFi is the leader in marketplace lending, and it's always interesting how a company starts. And SoFi is no exception. Dan Macklin tells us the story.
Well, SoFi began at Stanford University about 5 years ago now. And really it started because there were a few of us and we were amazed at how much student debt was out there. And we were equally amazed at how expensive it was. We had classmates who were paying 7% and 8% for their loans. And we just thought there has to be a better way. And we looked into it and there wasn't a better way. No one was doing anything. It was just completely 100% government dominated and no options for people. So we started so that we could offer people better student loans.
I think it's a great lesson for any entrepreneur, don't you? Nobody's filling the hole that you want filled. Fill it yourself. And SoFi has done that. StackingBenjamins.com/SOFI. And if you use our link, they'll give you $100 when you refinance your student loans or take out a personal loan to refinance your credit card debt. How about that? An extra $100 just because you're smart enough to listen to us.
Welcome back to the second period of the show, everyone. I'm Joe's mom's neighbor, Doug. Before the break, I asked the question, which player's jersey sold most quickly during the 2015-2016 season? The answer? If you said Len Penzo of the California Gold Diggers, you'd be wrong. It was actually Jonathan Toews of the Chicago Blackhawks. While the NHL didn't release the specific sales for the jersey, we can be sure it's upwards of at least $150 or so. His mom must have bought one, right? Time to hand this show back to two guys who haven't managed to make a good point yet, or even an assist. See ya.
Ovechkin's good, but there's a lot of Blackhawks fans out there.
Yeah, they did pretty well, I guess, a couple years ago, huh?
Yeah, they're okay. Chicago Blackhawks, they're okay.
You know who's really bad all of a sudden? The Red Wings.
I know, that's so
bad.
You're rubbing it in, aren't you?
Oh, I'm not rubbing it in. It's just,
Yeah,
it's an observation.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for making that observation about my favorite team. Hey, let's get back out of that conversation and throw out the Haven Lifeline to tackle some of life's, or rather life insurance's most important questions. Our friends at Haven Life Insurance Agency, they've been spearheading innovation within the life insurance industry by focusing on those two things that you value most, your family and your time. That's why they've created a high quality and, most importantly, affordable term life insurance policy you can purchase entirely online. No need to wait several weeks for a decision when you can get one right now with Haven Life. They didn't write that part. I threw that in for emphasis.
You made it up? Okay.
Yeah. Head to stackingbenjamins.com/Haven Life. I'm sure Brittany at Haven Life's going to be like, yeah, never do that again.
Ixnay on the off-script day.
Head to stackingbenjamins.com/Haven Life now to get a free quote and learn about life insurance the modern way. So the traditional no-exam life insurance is at least 2 times more expensive generally than policies that require an exam. They usually have a cap of about $250,000. I think we talked about that a few weeks ago, didn't we?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, but
guaranteed issue. And usually it means, don't look under this rock. I'll take whatever you'll give me.
Don't look
it's
under
going to be $1,000 a month. Deal.
Don't look under my right arm.
You drive a tough bargain, but okay.
Right. That rash means nothing. Just, can I get the guaranteed issue?
I'll take as much as you can give me. I mean, what do you think I'd qualify for?
Right. Let me think about it a sec. Okay. Yeah. Like Kramer on that. Remember that old episode of Seinfeld? We're prepared.
The one with Kramer in it?
We're prepared to give you.
So far not.
He brings his lawyer.
Oh, that's right. We're prepared to give you a lifetime of coffee. He's like, I'll take it.
They're going to give him a lifetime of coffee and $1 million.
And $1 million.
And at the end of a lifetime of coffee, and I'll take it. Yeah. And then he's wired the rest of the show. All right. People wonder what the heck we're doing. I'm wondering what the heck we're doing. You know what we're doing? We're all fired up because we're talking to our brand spanking new friend, Kyle. Say hello, Kyle.
Hi, guys. This is Kyle from Cincinnati. I have a question about whether I should move some of my investments from a normal taxable account into the Roth IRA I just opened. I have about $10,000 in 3 index funds in my taxable account, and I think my least tax efficient fund is a small cap index fund. I have about $2,500 invested in that, and it's gained about $250. My question is, should I sell that now, take the tax hit on the $250 gain, and buy the same fund in my Roth IRA and have all the future capital gains and dividend distributions sheltered from taxes? Or should I leave it as it is, not take the tax hit now, but have all those future distributions subject to tax? I'm relatively young, so either way, the investments, I plan on having them stay there for a long time. So essentially, is that tax hit now worth having all the future distributions sheltered from tax? Thanks.
Thanks for the question, Kyle. Does he do it? Should he do it?
Well, assuming that you can earmark the money for retirement, sure. Fund your Roth IRA all the way up. If you've got cash reserve outside of it and you are using this money for long-term money anyway, might as well have it be tax-free. And, the tax hit...
minimal.
What, are you going to pay $40 extra in taxes next year? If that?
Minimal.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that I'd worry too much about that.
I'm going to push back, though, on Kyle. He can either move that or he can find a way to fund it out of cash flow. And if I'm his financial advisor, I'm helping to push him to find ways to try to leave that alone and make a new contribution out of cash flow instead. That's the push. How about that?
Well, I mean, I think it's 6 of 1, right? If he was saying I can save the $5,000 a year, the $5,500 a year to max out my Roth starting today, but I also have enough money to put some extra money into it. That's what I was thinking. I would put it in from last year. You still got a couple days before tax filing season is over. So if you can code it for
last year, gotcha.
2016.
Do both. Yeah, fantastic.
Save $10,000 and double up. Put $5,000 in your Roth and $5,000 in your brokerage account.
Here's the deal, Kyle. If you need just the principal, the cool thing about the Roth IRA is you can take the principal without penalty. The bad news is that from now on, any gains that thing has, that's going to be subject to limitations, right? All the different Roth IRA limitations we don't need to get into. You can Google that. But there's limitations on the gains. So if you think, well, I might need the principal, but I don't need the gains, then that's great. If you think you're going to need the principal and the gains before, the time that you can get at the Roth IRA, before those golden handcuffs come off, then I'd say don't do it. But generally, yes, absolutely. Go do it. Yeah, good stuff. Thanks, Kyle, for the question. If you would like us to throw out the lifeline to you, head to StackyBenjamins.com/voicemail. And for more on Haven Life, StackyBenjamins.com/Haven Life life insurance. Doug also brings down the mail. Reminds me of a dumb joke I heard a long time ago. And I can't stand a joke when you can't remember the joke. You just remember the punchline. It's about these two hunters, and they go into the woods. I remember that. And there's bears, and the bears eat the hunters. And then later on, they're like, there's something going on I don't remember. And the punchline is the check's in the male and the pole's in the female. But I don't remember. But I think that's all you need, isn't it? Isn't that all you need?
Well, that's obvious. The two hunters are out there, and, one of them's Czechoslovakian from the Czech Republic and one's from Poland.
Yeah.
A Polish hunter and a Czechoslovakian hunter are out to.
Yeah, but it still has something to do with a pole and a check that you're mailing. And I don't remember that. But anyway, bad stuff. Sorry to even bring that up. I
told my kids a joke the other day that I thought was really good.
What's that?
Maybe I'll talk about it later.
All right. Our letter today, Doug just brought down the mail and brought this great note from our friend Kara. Kara says, hello, team. After listening to the podcast about tax planning, I was wondering if any of the wonderful Stacking Benjamins crew might have a suggestion or two for a good, not boring, tax planning book to read. Is there such a thing? My husband and I are going to be just barely jumping into a higher tax bracket this year, and I'm trying to figure out a strategy of how to lower our tax bill, i.e., is there a way for us to bump down to the lower tax bracket if we're only a couple thousand above the new level? Greatly appreciate all you do. I know, strange, she said. Thanks for the compliment, I think, Kara. But OG, great tax resources.
No, none of them are not boring. I have the Ernst & Young tax guide. It's about 1,000 pages. That's pretty boring. But that's more about doing taxes than it is tax strategy. The biggest thing that I think most people fail to appreciate is when it comes to getting into a new tax bracket, like Kara says there just a few minutes ago, that doesn't penalize all of your money. So it's just that last dollar that's taxed at that higher rate. So just because you happen to be in the higher bracket doesn't subject all of your income to that new rate. It's just the last dollar or the money above that last bracket. But that being said, a couple $1,000s over, the easiest thing to do is to defer that money in a pre-tax plan. So you've got 3 different places: your 401k or 403b employer-sponsored plan if you're working, your spouse's 403b, 401k employer-sponsored plan if they're working. If one of you aren't working, you can do traditional IRAs, which is up to another $5,500, and then you've also got a HSA if you have a high deductible plan. So if you've not maxed out all of those three things, then that's the first place to go. And my guess is that'll get you enough under the limit.
Our business partner, Kathleen, and I created a course, actually, because the best thing that happened to me and the best way for me to find tax help was a great mentor of mine sat down with me, and actually we read the front and the back of a 1040, line by line, and I thought it was going to be the world's most boring thing. It was actually pretty damn fascinating. And then we looked at the itemized deductions page, and once you know where deductions fit, exemptions go, where credits are, it actually was amazingly simple, and now I kind of know where opportunities are. So I've never read a book that was exciting, but we did create a very inexpensive course that you can take that takes not a lot of time. I basically do for you what this mentor did for me, and it's stackingbenjamins.com/taxes, and you can do those videos, and we try to keep it humorous and fun and not boring at all. And Kara had no idea that she was setting up me talking about.
I didn't have any idea I was setting you up either, but
no. How about that? There was a book a long time ago, and I can't find it. I've been searching on Amazon for this. There was a book by Andrew Tobias. Remember Andrew Tobias? Big financial guru. Andrew Tobias, maybe 15 years ago. Could be a big guru today. Just haven't seen Andrew around lately. But Andrew Tobias had a book on taxes, and I can't seem to see it anywhere. But that's the closest I've gotten. But anyway, great note from Kara. Thanks for the note. If you've got a note for us, send that to me, joe@stackingbenjamins.com, or another place to go for both the Haven Lifeline and to ask questions is the show questions tab right at the top of our website at stackingbenjamins.com. I'll tell you, we are running very close on Haven Lifeline questions, so you can have your question answered fairly quickly by having us throw out the lifeline to you. We're probably about 6 weeks behind when it comes to letters. Also, if you are looking for a phenomenal financial advisor,
you shouldn't laugh after you say that.
I totally shouldn't. I'm trying to make it as flowery as I possibly can. If thou knowest a humble advisor in your corner, the OSGS is available because he's taking on clients. So make the call by heading to this URL, stackingbenjamins.com/OG, the letter O, the letter G, and he gets to know us your financial plan. I'm half doing it. I can't do it. It's this show's off the rails. Thanks a ton, Gene Chatzky, for coming down to the basement, trying to save us. And thanks to you, OG, for another great episode. Good
another
stuff.
One. Yes, sir.
Thanks to Wells Fargo for bringing out another robo-advisor. And we'll see everybody back here, except OG, on Friday for another crazy roundtable discussion. That's going to do it. Doug, take it from here, man. What did we learn today?
I always take it from here, Joe. Hey, so folks, what did we learn today? First, hoping to age-proof your life? Take Gene Chatzky's advice. A little planning can go a long, long way. Second, the health savings account. While it's great for healthcare, it's also a great tax shelter for anything you need down the road. But the big lesson? Thinking about a facial makeover? Maybe start with the NHL before expensive surgery. You'll save a bundle of money on your nose job, which, when I think about it, you might need for a new set of teeth. Special thanks to Gene Chatzky. You can find her book at genechatzky.com, or we'll have a link on our show notes at stackingbenjamins.com. This show is the property of SB Podcasts, LLC. The show is created by Joe Saul-Sehy, produced by Richie Rutter-Reese, and engineered by the amazing Steve Stewart. SB Podcasts may receive payment on the show from sponsors and guests in the form of books, giveaway items, discounts, or other remuneration. There's no way you would take advice from these dorks, but like Joe's mom always says, don't take advice from people you don't know. This show is for entertainment purposes only, and before making any financial moves, consult with a real financial advisor. Special thanks to Joe's mom for telling me to stop oogling Mrs. Butterworth. She's right. I'm moving on to that looker, Aunt Jemima. That girl is fine. I wonder what her phone number is. Girl, I'm going to hit you up. Ship me your digits.
You know, we talk about TV shows and movies all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching the show the other day on Netflix, and it was about this guy. He's taking these pieces of sheet metal, and he's putting them together. Dude, it was riveting.
I'm not even going to
acknowledge. Come on. All right, are we going to announce this?
Which sets up our good
yes.
our good game show.
We should announce this.
Yes, this is perfect. How about this one? So there's a bear and a rabbit, and they're sitting out in the woods. They're at the woods outhouse, basically, right?
Don't.
So the bear's taking a crap.
Why are you telling this a horrible joke?
I can't even believe that you're laughing already, and I haven't even told you.
I know.
I win.
It doesn't.
Do you know this joke?
Yes, I'm in trouble either way. If I say it does or it doesn't, I'm in trouble.
So the bear looks down at the rabbit and says, Mr. Rabbit, could I ask you a personal question? And the rabbit looks up at him and he says, well, sure, Mr. Bear. And he says, does shit stick to your fur? And the rabbit kind of smiles and says, nah, Mr. Bear, it doesn't. The bear said, good. Reaches down and grabs him and uses him to clean him up.
Just, it's so bad. It's so bad.
So I win. So this is a great example. So you wanna do this?
Okay, how about this one?
Little contest. Okay, give me another one.
This guy goes to this zoo. It's a horrible zoo. There's only one animal, a dog. It's a Shih Tzu.
Sorry, dude.
Come on. All right.
Nope.
All right. Tell everybody what we're gonna do.
So we heard this on the radio a really long time ago, right? A radio program, the kind of Make Me Laugh. I know you were telling me about it. I've heard it in different markets.
I heard it on WMVP Chicago. It was a show called Johnny in the Morning.
Okay, there you go. So here's what we're going to do. If you've got a joke, you can send it to me, and I will read it to Joe. And if your joke makes Joe laugh, then we'll give you something, I don't know, book or a T-shirt or something. And likewise, if you want to try me out, you send it to Joe. So Joe's email, everybody knows, Joe at Stacking Benjamins. Mine's very simple, og@stackingbenjamins.com. And so if you send me the joke, just put in the subject line joke so that I can sort them.
Yes, please.
Subject line joke, and then put your joke in the text. And we'll go through a couple of them. You know, we'll let them accumulate and go through a couple of weeks. You know, send some to me, send some to Joe. Don't send the same joke to each one of us.
They got to be better than yours. They got to be better than
Well, way better than yours for sure. How about this one? There's three guys sitting out in the woods. A lot of woods jokes. I don't know why.
Apparently.
Three guys out deer hunting. Get up early in the morning, at deer camp. And I can't tell this joke. Forget it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've got one that would just slay you, and I can't tell it. I won't be able to tell it on the show.
Yeah.
So, all right.
I've got a whole bunch that I feel bad about laughing about. Does that count?
Bring them on. Come down to the basement with us, everybody.
So og@stackingbenjamins.com,
Yes.
joe@stackingbenjamins.com. Don't send the same one to both of us. And just in the subject line, be sure you write capital letters joke, and then we can sort them, and then we'll go through them.
Also, on that note, if you want to if you want to hang out, a couple things coming up in May, and I'll have this date next week. But the second week of May, we're setting up a meetup. I will be at a conference in Times Square, and while I'm there one night, I'd love to just hang out with our Stacking Benjamins peeps. So if you're in the
another trip I wasn't invited to.
If you're in the New York area and want to hang out near Times Square somewhere, we'll find a place and we'll get that done. So email me there.
Go see Aladdin.
Joe at stackingbenjamins.com. No, we won't do that. We'll probably just go.
Have you seen Aladdin?
Grab a beer somewhere. I have. I actually have.
You did see Aladdin?
Yes. And then
Not the movie, the play?
No, I saw the play. Where did I see the play?
It's only in New York, so I don't think it's touring.
It did tour.
I don't think so.
I'm 99% sure. It's
I'm 1% sure that it didn't. So
maybe. All right. And
equals
then
100.
and then the second thing is I will be in Anaheim at a conference in
What the frick is going on?
July.
This is not past the board of directors yet.
In August. That's the Podcast Movement Conference. I go every year. So
That doesn't make it right.
and I'll be helping put on that conference. There's a piece of it that I'll be doing.
Up to one of these things eventually.
Then, of course, if you come through Texarkana, we've had listeners come through Texarkana. Just text me. I've had lunch.
Yeah, because you have your phone number out on the internet.
That's true. I should.
Just give me a text. I'd love to buy you dinner here at Texarkana.
Don't text.
Lone Star. I'll show you my favorite hostess. We can have dinner with Chloe.
Yeah, I think there'll be like a.
She always has the day off every time you come in and ask for her section.
It is so strange.
She's like, hey, so how about another 12 ouncer at New York Strip? Looks delicious, if you know what I mean. And she's like, I don't feel well. I need to go home.
I gotta get away from you, creepy old guy. All right, guys. But anyway, I'll be in Anaheim at the end of August. So, and then I'll be also in northern Michigan in early July near Traverse City. So, if
were you trying to show me exactly where it was on the map by sticking out your pinky?
I showed you right on the map. You stuck my hand out. Look, I'm gonna be right here. I'm going to be right there. Yeah.
Right at the bottom knuckle of the pinky.
Good stuff. All right, everybody, let's get out of here. See ya.